Good afternoon, and welcome to the Even the Dogs Get Scraps edition of Eating Scripture. I'm your host, Drew Downs, and this upcoming Sunday is Proper 18b, and we have this really crunchy gospel text this week, Mark 7:24-37, which includes the story of the Syrophoenician woman, or as I call it, the Even the Dogs Get Scraps story. Now, with a hat tip to David Henson and Carl Gregg, who each challenge how we're to read the story this week. I want to begin with last week. Last week, we had the beginning of chapter 7, Jesus condemning the Pharisees for putting tradition before God's dream for us and arguing about evil, about the evil being on the outside and getting on us. And Jesus says, no, the evil originates within us and comes out. That's what we were dealing with before, and I feel like it colors how we understand this week's scripture. Now, the five things we have to wrestle with. First of all, the location. They have come back to Tyre. This is their second trip to Tyre. The first trip, remember, they had the big storm on the way over there, and the disciples showed no faith, right? Well, then they get across, and they find this demon there. Jesus takes the demon, shoves him into pigs, sends the pigs off the cliff, and scares the bejesus out of the people there, right? And they send him away. They say, Jesus, get out of here. So now this is a return trip, and Jesus comes back judgy and angry and downright pissed off at these people, right? So this woman comes up to him, and second thing is how he treats her, and he treats her in one word, badly. Horribly. In fact, he looks a bit like a racist, calling her a dog and treating her like junk because she's different from them. So he's dealing with his own stuff. He's treating her like garbage, right? So then we have the third thing, which is Jesus' theology entering the story. And it seems pretty exclusive. Not surprising, considering Jesus is a pretty good Jew, but it's not the picture of Jesus we have. He's coming in with this baggage. He's angry, and he's this angry racist, and he doesn't want her having anything to do with the kingdom. So what does she do? Right? He's ignoring the plight of her daughter, for crying out loud. So what does she do? The interaction with Jesus and the woman. She goes and she says, "Come on, even dogs get the scraps from under the table because the kids give it to them." She schools Jesus. She shows greater wisdom of Scripture and of theology than Jesus does in this moment. And he hears her. And number 5 is how Jesus responds to this interaction. And he goes and he says, "You're right. You're right." His mind has changed, and better, his theology has changed. How he sees God, God's interaction with the world is transformed. Boom! Everything's different. I love it. And not to mention the fact that it's a woman that does this, and that seems to be a similar commentary. So this is where we've got. We can start wrestling if we want with what this means for us and in our world, what we're dealing with. And there's a lot to that. The idea of listening to the outsider, being changed by the outsider, allowing the outsider to transform our theology, that they have something prophetic to say, I think is profound for us. So there's definitely something here to chew on for everybody. For links and more commentary, visit my blog at drewdowns.net. So go munch on it and proclaim it. Peace.